What's good, guys? Newcastle 2, Manchester United 0. And guys, honestly, I thought coming back from the international break, United would have been, firing on all cylinders, confident. Today, we just didn't show up. Clear for everybody to see, we just didn't show up. There was a lot going into the international break about Manchester United having played the most games out of most of the teams in Europe at the moment. And that's true. We played, Thursday to Sunday for weeks on end because we're in all the competitions. We always knew it was going to slow down, but having an international break, you thought that some of the key players would have been able to be rested, would be able to be sharp. They would have been able to come back and we'd be able to get players back, such as the Martials of this world. But today, that clearly didn't happen. United were outplayed for large parts of today. Newcastle wanted it more. And that terrible away form that Manchester United has continued. I think now we have lost 6 away games against the big teams. We've lost those games. And there seems at the moment to be no answer for that. Ten Hag has come under huge scrutiny in and around the fan base, in and around the community, because they feel that he got it wrong today. And when we're looking at the starting 11, there was no Wan-Bissaka, obviously due to illness. There's not much that he can do about that. He went with the normal back four of Dalot, Varane, Martinez and Luke Shaw. And in the midfield, he went with a brand new pairing in midfield of Sabitzer and McTominay, which was largely ineffective today against the Joe Lintons of this world and the other Bruno Jimenez, as if that's how you pronounce it, and Longstaff. They struggled. They really, really struggled today. And then up the top of the pitch, Marcus Rashford, for large parts of the game, was extremely quiet. And he is our top scorer. And I think he's our only real outlet at the moment for goals. But when he's marked out of the game, when he's not performing, the goals seem to not be flowing. Bruno Fernandes, Haley said he's like Marmite, and I think that's a perfect analogy for Bruno. When he is not assisting or if he's not scoring, you do start seeing massive holes in his game. He was giving the ball away too much today, allowing Newcastle to pressure us time and time again. And just because we do not have another option or an alternative to Bruno and a number 10, he will continue to play. And he will only continue to play because, there isn't any other players that can come in and affect games the way that he can when he's on his day. Having looked at Anthony for the last sort of few weeks has come under scrutiny as well. We was looking for a big performance today from him. Didn't really see much from Anthony today. Defensively, yes, but in the attacking third, again, was very frustrating as always. It's still his first season, but for a £100 million player, you do expect a little bit more. I know he can't help the price tag, but it is what it is. When you come to Manchester United, you need to be performing in the final third. Weghorst up top. Man, look, honestly, guys, look, I love Wout Weghorst. I think he's a really good human being, a good model professional. But look, he was surviving off just doing the bare minimum in the past few months. He has, one thing we would say is like, yeah, he can play in the 10 or he links up the play very well and, he fights for the badge and he closes the oppositional players down. Yes, he does all of that stuff, but today he didn't even do that stuff. He was really ineffective, didn't really affect the game in any way, shape or form. He was just another body there and it showed today, hence why he got hooked off towards the end of the game. Positives though, Martial. The return of Anthony Martial today. When he came on, he had one chance, trapped the ball dead with the right foot, beautiful inside the box, tried to cut it with the left, and it was really good defending from the Newcastle defenders. He's probably not match fit just yet, but you can see what we miss when he comes in. He does have that cutting edge. He does have that X factor, and that was one of the positives today. I thought the pairing of Varane and Martinez, considering all things, was good. I think Ten Hag did gamble by taking them off to go a little bit more attacking in the final minutes of the game, and it ended up backfiring on us because Wilson managed to get a header. He was unchallenged by Lindelof in the box, and that sealed it for Newcastle, 2-0. When we're looking at Luke Shaw, new contract, 4-year contract, just signed, like the ink's still probably not even dry just yet, and he comes in today and he doesn't really perform that good today. Struggled again with the one-on-one battles, needless silly little fouls up the pitch, not really being proactive in his football, and an all-round not really good performance from him today. Dalot struggled with St. Maximin. I think I touched on that already. AWB, it was sorely missed, and I think that debate gets put to bed now. I think it's clear that AWB is the number one right back for Manchester United at this moment in time. Dalot still needs a lot of work. had a nightmare game against St Maximum, and we saw these signs in the last time we played Newcastle. There were signs that Dalot would struggle against him, and oh boy, he did struggle today. Going through the team in terms of the McTominays and the Sabitzas of this world, I think Sabitzer didn't really cover himself in glory. You can see that there's a player there, technically he's really good, but we want him to take control of games. In the absence of Casemiro, when you do get an opportunity, you need to be able to take those opportunities. And I don't think he takes them as well as he should do. McTominay, we seem to think that, look, he was doing well on international duty. He was scoring goals. He was, McSauce again. But in terms of today, we didn't see that. We saw the frailties again of being able to keep hold of the ball. We saw the frailties again of receiving the ball under pressure. And every time McTominay got the ball, Newcastle would attack him and win the ball deep in our half, which would cause us to be under pressure immediately from goal. Now, one of the other positives I would say was David De Gea. David De Gea keeps the scoreline respectable for me. That is why, he is loved by Ten Hag. There is some debate in the fan base, the Marcels and Cams of this world, who still think that we need a new keeper. I do agree. I think we do need a new keeper. But David De Gea today showed why he should remain in the sticks at least for another season as part of this Manchester United team and the part of Ten Hag squad. He made some absolutely vital saves today, which kept the scoreline, respectable. 2-0 in the first half. Newcastle could have been maybe 3-0 up. But if it wasn't for David De Gea, they would have scored more goals. And he keeps it at 2-0. And even at certain key points where the game was still sort of 0-0, he kept us in the game. But United failed to capitalise on that. United now are slipping over to, I think we're slipping to 4th now because of that. Tottenham, I think, play tomorrow. So if Tottenham get the 3 points, they will leapfrog Manchester United and United could fall further down into 5th. There is a big debate is whether United can keep up this challenge of being in the Premier League, trying to get top 4, but also FA Cup, Europe. Can Manchester United do it? I think is the big answer. The squad is suffering at this moment in time. There's not a lot of squad depth. The question is, can Ten Hag get more out of these players? And if I was to ask you guys at home if you think that, leave comments in the video and answer that. But I'll be honest with you now, I think Ten Hag can get a little bit more out of these players. The next game's Brentford at home. We need to have a big response. I think we can do it. So yeah, go over Man United.